In our ongoing exploration of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we find ourselves at an important crossroads. In the previous sutra, Patanjali Rishi emphasized the necessity of having an intense aspiration towards spiritual growth. However, he quickly warns us that this does not mean practicing extreme measures. This is where many of us get trapped. We often equate intensity with extremism, thinking that more effort, more sacrifice, or more restriction must lead us to our spiritual goals. But let's pause here and reflect on balance and moderation. With an intense aspiration for spiritual awakening, we must remember to cultivate balance in all aspects of our lives. Too often, we may pamper our bodies, indulging in comforts and pleasures. Yet, at the same time, we may subject ourselves to harmful extremes, neglecting our physical health. The middle path is crucial here. Consider a simple example from our daily lives. We might find joy in certain foods, but if we overindulge, we feel sluggish and uncomfortable. Alternatively, if we starve ourselves, we miss out on the very nourishment needed to thrive. The body and the mind require care, respect, and understanding. They do not serve well under duress. Let's bring this insight into our social interactions. Some of us may find ourselves over-socializing, draining our energy and trying to please others. On the other hand, imposing isolation can also leave us feeling disconnected and lonely. Both extremes can hinder our path. The key is to establish a rhythm, connecting meaningfully with others, while also valuing time alone for reflection and regeneration. When we turn our attention to meditation, it can be particularly tempting to dive deep right from the start. Yet, if we attempt to meditate for hours without adequate preparation, we may be left feeling frustrated and discouraged. Conversely, if we abandon our practice altogether, we lose the profound benefits that come with time and consistency. Finding that sweet spot between dedication and self-care is essential. In this respect, Patanjali Rishi emphasizes consistency over sporadic intensity. It is more fruitful to engage in a little practice every day than to push ourselves to extremes sporadically. I learned this during my time with my master in the Himalayas. My early days involved rigorous routines that could be exhausting. Yet, over time, I discovered that small, consistent steps brought about more profound transformations than intense bursts of effort. We must also be cautious about defining moderation through the eyes of others. What feels excessive for one person might be perfect for another. For example, some may thrive on social engagements, while others may prefer solitude. Through our varied perspectives, we must allow ourselves to explore what balance means individually. This journey inward becomes vital as we seek our own equilibrium. As I understood this, we need to find what we can embrace without feeling stressed or lazy, and then try to tilt slightly toward abhyasa, towards consistent practice. As I learned during my years of training, listening to our inner voice is the best guide. We can often mistake busyness for productivity. We should look deeper to identify what actually uplifts us, what enhances our journey. In my spiritual practice, I found that asking myself simple questions helped identify this balance. How do I feel after meditating? Does the time spent bring me clarity or confusion? Are my physical activities invigorating or draining? Such reflections bring light to our path. The teachings of great masters resonate with this theme. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, we find a similar insistence on balance, where Ramakrishna speaks of practicing spiritual discipline without allowing it to become a burden. He teaches us that true devotion should feel fulfilling, not constraining. From Ramana Maharishi's wisdom, we learn the significance of self-inquiry. He guides us to look within, discovering what truly resonates with our being. This self-inquiry encourages us to find our own steady ground, understanding that our differences are not shortcomings but rather expressions of the divine. Swami Vivekananda adds yet another layer of insight when he speaks about the practical application of spirituality. He reminds us that spirituality should be joyful, noting how an effective practice harmonizes vigor and calmness. The balance in our lives should nurture our spirits while grounding us in reality. As we continue to navigate through our lives, let us keep these considerations in our hearts. Moderation, consistency, and self-inquiry become our tools for spiritual growth. We can each learn to live in a state of balance, recognizing that each small, consistent step brings us closer to our divine essence. Let us journey together, looking within and nurturing our own unique paths.